Stampers, welcome back to Stamping All Night Long. It's been a while since my last video, so today I'm going to show you something really awesome. I'm going to show you how to make this glitter napkin technique or sparkle napkin technique. I'm going to bring it up closer because you can't appreciate it from down there. Don't you see how awesome that is? The glitter, the sparkle, and the shine. I mean, this doesn't do it justice. You have to see it in person. It is so cute. I went to a store, local store, and I found these they were Easter napkins, and they were on sale. I think they were $24 for $2 or something, because we're getting close to Easter. So of course they're trying to get rid of all the Easter stuff, but not just Easter. You can look at for napkins. They have flower napkins, animal napkins, different kinds of prints. After you learn how to use this technique, when you see a napkin, you're going to want to buy it and just put it aside. So when you get into the mood for making these awesome glitter napkins, or glitter napkin cards, you'll get them. Anyway, let me show you how to start. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to the store and get your napkins. So this is a napkin that I got. When you get these napkins, they have layers. And some of them, depending on what kind you buy, have various type layers. This one just has one layer, but some of them might have 2 to 3 layers. So I'm going to cut this up, and we're going to use just a piece of this. And I'm not going to separate the whole thing because I learned another thing, and I'm going to show you quickly almost at the end of this video how to use the leftover pieces, which I was just saving because I knew I was going to use them for something. Okay, let me show you. I use them to line the inside of my envelope, and I was throwing away these 2 pieces over here, or not throwing away, I was just saving these 2 pieces over here on the side that I wasn't using, and I knew I would find something for them, and I did. I found how to line the envelope. So, but if we separate it ahead of time and you get the really thin layer, because after we separate it, it's a really thin layer like this, it's very hard to get it on the envelope. So that's why I'm telling you, just keep it on here, and then you can separate what you need at the moment you need it. So let me just cut these 2 pieces off here. And I'm going to show you step by step how to do this. And if you know how to do one step, you can just fast forward and get to the next one. This technique uses a heat and stick powder, but we'll get into how to use that later. Anyway, let me cut this piece over here. Okay, well, the first thing you're going to do, like I said, some of them have 2 layers, some of them have 3 layers. You're going to have to separate the layers. And if you just go and just like pull on it on the edges, they start separating. And this one just has 1 layer, so we don't have to separate 2. So when you pull the layer, gently, obviously, get all the edges like that. Pull down, separate, and pull. And these are great tissues. Don't throw them away either. I've been saving these. These are awesome tissues. So yes, reuse, recycle. Okay, so the first thing we've got to do is, obviously this is way too thin to work with to get your card ready. So we have to adhere this to a piece of cardstock. And these are the pieces of cardstock that I'm using. I'm using Crumb Cake for the base of the card. I'm using green, what is this called? Garden green for my layer, my outer thin layer. Very vanilla. This is what I'm going to mount this on. And then for the inside of the card, I'm also using Very Vanilla. So how do you get this onto the Very Vanilla and then get all the glitter on? This is what I'm going to show you. There's a Sizzix, which is a big partner with Stampin'Up. They're the ones, Sizzix are the ones who make the Big Shot, and they make an exclusive Big Shot for Stampin'Up. And they also have these adhesive sheets, which we used to sell before, and we don't now. And I have a feeling they're going to come back, so stay tuned. They're going to come back in, hopefully in our new catalog. I heard there were new adhesive options, and I'm hoping this is one of them. But anyway, these are called adhesive sheets. This one says repositionable, but for napkins, you can't. It's not repositionable. It's just there, and then it becomes permanent. But this is how you use it. They come in 12 by 12, 6 by 12, 6 by 6, and other sort of dimensions. So you peel a piece off at the end. This is the edge, so it has a piece. And what you're going to do is, sorry, I almost did it with the wrong one. You're going to get a piece of the cardstock on there. Well, you know, for this one, it's such a small piece. Let me just do this. This is what I usually do. I usually peel a bigger piece. That one's just a tiny piece there. So you peel a piece, bring it up to the edge there. Actually, let's do it at the corner here so that we don't waste the other adhesive sheet. And press down, remove this. Press down, and we're going to waste it anyway because after you remove that, I should have cut it first. But anyway, press down, cut it. Really nice sharp scissors. These are our Stampin'Up. What are they called? I know they're scissors, but they have another name. I'll figure it out and put it there on the video. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so what we're going to do is take bone folder and just rub it. This is on the opposite side. We put this on top of there. So just rub it so that we get the adhesive on there. And then, guess what? When we pull this here, we have all that adhesive on our cardstock. So like I did before, I just do a little bit piece first. Now, I know that I want the bunny on here, so I want to make sure I get that bunny on there. So I'm going to start from the bottom because the bunny's on the bottom. And then lay it down here so that I can position the napkin where I want it. Okay, I know my bunny's going to get on there. Remove the rest. And then gently, you can use the bone folder if you want so that you don't get any wrinkles in there, or your hand, whichever is easier for you. Oh, my phone's ringing. The answering machine will get it, so don't worry about that. Usually they're just telemarketers. Okay, so you have a piece like this. Cut off the edges. See, they hung up. Cut off the edges and snips, paper snips, that's what they're called. And I don't like using paper snips for this. And anyway, take that out. We have this piece over here. And after you cut it down, you cut all the edges, it's going to look like this. So then you're going to have your piece of napkin with cardstock. And you see now you can work with this. Before you couldn't work with something that was so flimsy like this piece of napkin here. So now you have a napkin that you can work with. Now the first thing we're going to do is get VersaMark. I don't want to get the VersaMark all over my area here. And you're going to stamp with the VersaMark pad. This one's well used. And you're going to just stamp or just stick the VersaMark pad to the piece of cardstock that you have and make sure that it's covered completely. And you know what? Yep, it's good. So just make sure you get every single piece covered. And we're done with that. Now we're going to use the heat and stick powder. And I keep this open like that, and what I do is I just cover it completely. There we go. Usually when we're embossing or using any powders, I I tell you to use the embossing buddy. I didn't this time because it really doesn't matter. Because we want it to be sticky. Okay, so you have the heat stick, right? I mean the heat end stick on the cardstock. You're gonna hold it down. You're gonna start using the heating tool. Let it heat up a little bit first before you start. And then you just run it over the cardstock. And you can see that it starts getting clear. And when it starts getting clear, then it's turning it into an adhesive. And the reason we want to do that is because we want to adhere dazzling diamonds to the cardstock, and that's what gets all the sparkles in there. So make sure that you cover every single area because you want this to be really sticky. And be careful not to do it too long because you'll burn your you'll burn the cardstock, you'll burn the napkin, because I've done that. That's done. It's nice and sticky. Turn off your heat tool. Now you're going to bring in your dazzling diamonds. This, if I was to touch it, would get really sticky. I don't want to because then I'll take the stickiness off. Now you're going to place this into, I have another trough here with dazzling diamonds, and cover it completely. And I don't know if you can tell. Let me bring this up here. The sparkle in all of this. Okay, now let me just pick it up, shake it off. When you're working with dazzling diamonds or any kind of glitter, you have it around for a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to use the heat tool one more time, because we use the heat tool first to heat up the heat and stick powder so it could get nice and sticky, and now we're using it so that it can adhere the dazzling diamonds. Okay, so after you're done with the dazzling diamonds, you let it cool off just for a minute or a few seconds, and you can rub here and you see nothing comes off. That's why you need the heat and stick powder. So get some heat and stick powder. But now it's really stuck on there. So now let's put this card together. Okay, so we have a piece of garden green. And like I said, this one I think is 3 1/4 by 5. I'll put the measurements there. So this is just 1/8 of an inch smaller. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, actually I'll use Tombow multi-purpose glue. And the reason I'm using that, I want it to really stick to this. Because when you heat something up, the paper starts to, as you can see, it starts to curl a little. So you want this to really get stuck on here. And we cut this down. We cut down. I'll give you the measurements. It'll all pop up there. The measurements for the cardstock with the napkin stuck on, with the napkin adhered to it. And it's just 1/8 of an inch smaller on all edges. Get that nice and stuck there. Now for the base we're using Crumb Cake, and this is 4 1/4 by 11. And let me show you what I did before. I was going to, the card is here somewhere. Okay, as you see, I use an embossing folder for this, and a textured embossing folder. And my first attempt was I was going to just stamp on the edges and use this as an outer layer. And when I started putting it together, it looked good. I mean, I'm not going to say it looked bad. This is the way I had, this is the layout that I had. But actually here with the oval. But as I started looking at it, I said, you know what? I want something just a little bit more. I want more texture in there. So that's why then I used the textured embossing folder. And I used I think this one is called Petals Texture Embossing Folder. So let me show you how you put this through the Big Shot. What you do is you take your cardstock, the 4 1/4 by 11, you score it at 5 1/2, which is half. You bring it up to the edge here, and you put it in, you make your sandwich for the Big Shot. Here's the top one. Like this, and I'm not going to bore you and run it through and have you see me run it through. Okay, I already have one here, And we're going to put this together. And I lost my, oh, here it is. And I'm going to use again the Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue for this, because since this is textured, you want it to really stick there. Okay, and it also gives you a few seconds to move it around. It's more forgiving. There you go. Nice and stuck. Now we're going to take this piece of 1x5 garden green cardstock, put it in the triple banner punch, flip it over, put it in again. A little tip when you're using the triple banner punch, it has 3 sizes here: 1 inch, 1.5 inches, and 2 inches. When you're cutting your cardstock for this, if you're going to use the 1 inch, cut it just a sliver smaller than 1 inch instead of 1 inch, because that way it just glides in easily. If you cut it exactly, let me see if I have one. Yep, this is exactly at 1 inch. See, it'll go in and everything, but it doesn't glide as easily. It sticks out a little on the edge. This one, look how easy it just slides in. So cut it in just a sliver smaller. Okay, so we got that, and we're going to use, again, the Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue. And as you can tell, I have it, my Tombow multi-purpose glue, I have it in a shot glass, and I'll tell you why. It's not because I'm up here drinking shots all day while I'm doing this, which is not a bad idea, but anyway. The reason I have it here is because I want my liquid glue to be ready and available the moment I want to use it. If you store it the way it's supposed to be, or the way everyone stores it, it's like this, it has a cover. When you're going to use it, then you have to start shaking, get all the glue down there. I want it to be ready to use immediately. So this is like probably about, I don't know, 2, 3, maybe 4 bottles. This is what I lose, because it does drip a tiny bit, but not a lot. As long as you're not squeezing it, it doesn't come out. Because as you can see, nothing's coming out here. As soon as I squeeze it, it starts coming out. So you'll lose a little here, but at the same time, it's always available to use at any moment. Because, you know, you never want to wait when stamping. I'm going to use the Stitched Shapes framelit dies, which these were very famous when they came out, and they still are. We kept running out of them. Oval, circle, and squares. So I'm going to use the next two, not the biggest one, but the next 2 biggest one here, and run this through the Big Shot. You can stamp first and run it through, or just run it through and then just stamp. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, done. Now I'm going to stamp, and I am going to use garden green ink. And the saying I'm going to use is enjoy life and have fun. This stamp set is from the Occasions catalog. It's in the almost very last page. This is the last page. It's right here, and I almost missed it. And when you look at it, it has a lot of sayings. Easter friend, best guy, I mean, almost everything. And then I looked here, and it says phrases coordinate with every sweet. The party animals, cupcakes, sending love, succulent garden, cool treats, urban, underground, and falling in love. So you have a variety of stamps here. It's a must get, and I'm pretty sure, I'll be very surprised if it doesn't carry on to the annual catalog. I use Enjoy for this one, and I'm going to show you this one. I also use May Peace Be Your Gift this Easter. We're close to Easter, so and of course it's a bunny, so we use this stamp, and also this one. So let me get this out of the way, and let's stamp that up. Okay, I'm going to use garden green ink. Enjoy life and have fun. Ink it up. So you want to stamp the greeting with the same stamp, with the same ink pad. And I'm using Greatest Greetings. This is from the annual catalog. And I'm going to be using Sending Smiles. It has a lot of greetings here. This is another great one to have. So let's ink that up. And I'm going to stamp it right here on the bottom The reason I do that is because I can't stamp anything straight if my life depended on it. So if I stamp it, if I use the bottom and the right for as my guides, I'll never miss. And not only that, you'll have enough room over here to write whatever you want to write on the inside of the card. And I can't find my card now. But anyway, let me show you one that's already done. There you go, sending smiles. We're putting it in. And you know, you see how big this one is here? I should have brought it down a little. Here we go. A smaller one. I like to cut out the inside part of my card the same size as my top layers. So it could have been either the same size as the green or the same size as the very vanilla. I think it looks a lot better when you open it up if it's the same size, and this doesn't look bad, but I think this looks better. So I'm just giving you an option, and all of this is all personal preference. This is my personal preference. Okay, so now we have the greeting stamp, the inside stamp. Let's put this together. Let's use dimensionals. Put that on here. Get some rhinestones in here. I'm going to use a smaller one here. Put in the middle of the O. Another one. Put it down. Oh, I already did that. Okay, there we go. So here's your card with the 2 sentiments. Enjoy life, have fun. May peace be your gift this Easter. And I said I was going to show you how to do the envelope liner, or how I did it. Remember I told you not to separate everything because you're going to need it later on if you're going to use it for envelope liner. Stampin' Up! Used to have this thing called envelope liners, and it's retired. All you do is just put it on there and like this. Run it through the big shot. This piece comes out over here. You take the envelope, you just put it in here. It's going to be, I'll go halfway through, or maybe a little less than halfway. And just line it up here. Hold it. Use just a little adhesive just in case it shows through. But towards the edge, the top, I'm sorry. And that's it. So when you put it in there, and the person that gets your card, they're going to have a cute envelope liner here. It's going to look really nice. It matches with your card. When they pull it out, it comes out like that. So hope you like my card. And this technique, the glitter napkin technique or sparkle napkin technique, you'll never look at napkins the same way. When you see napkins, pick them up. You can use them later on for a card. So this is Wanda Smith saying thank you for visiting Stamping All Night Long with Wanda Smith. Please like this video, like my YouTube channel, subscribe to my YouTube channel, go to my blog, like my blog, and visit often. Goodbye for now. Take care and have a creative day.